it's me, Emma, and this is the intro of this episode. And this was previously recorded. This was the day before my uncle Avery passed away. So we didn't really get this out, but now we're putting this out. And we were talking about rebel rights, and it's by Dr. Danny Martin. And you might be like, why is Emma doing it? Because mommy lost her voice, and yeah, that's why I'm doing it. So I hope you guys like this episode, and I hope you just like it, and I hope this inspires you. Bye.
Welcome to Living in 3D Power, a space where questions matter, stories heal, and joy is our practice. I'm Dr. Amber Sessoms, and each week I sit down with my daughter Emma to talk honestly about life, identity, and the power of wonder. This season, we're guided by a sacred invitation. What would it look like if joy was our strategy, not our reward? Here, we discover truths long buried, discern paths toward freedom, and devote ourselves to living with authenticity and love. Together, across generations, we're learning that joy is not the prize at the finish line. It's the rhythm that carries us forward.
Hey, it's me, Emma. Welcome back to Living in 3D Power. And today you might notice a few things off. If you're watching this, we have two special guests, Kibo and Hero, our dusty dogs.
Dusty?
That one is. He's
Don't talk about my dogs.
And then we're wearing pajamas because we're a little off timing because it's been a busy week.
Yeah, it is a little late. It's about 8:30 and you got to get to bed soon. So you were already showered and ready for bed. So I said, I'll just join you, put my pajamas on too. But what did you also say about wearing pajamas? What was another good reason for it?
What we're going to talk about is a hard topic, so let's get comfy.
Let's get comfy and have our therapy dogs with us, just in case we need them. Yeah, so what do we have in front of us today? What journals do we have? What books do we have?
Rebel Rights by Dr. Danny Martin.
Shout out to Dr. Danny Martin. And I actually went to college with Dr. Martin. And before that, well, we ran track together at Millersville University. Shout out to Millersville, forever a Millersville marauder. So we ran track at Millersville together. But previous to that, we were competitors. We were in a neighboring school district, and we competed against each other in high school. But Dr. Danny, what it says on the back of her book here is a compassionate education activist and professor devoted to empowering students and communities through transformative learning. With over 20 years of experience in public education and higher ed, she champions critical thinking, dialogue, and action to dismantle systemic barriers. Driven by her belief in education as a powerful tool for liberation, Danny's mission is to inspire individuals to challenge injustice and take meaningful steps towards social change. Her work ignites self-determination, encouraging all who engage with her to become advocates for a more equitable world. And Hero just jumped down, y'all. Hero, off.
Hero down.
Because he saw a bar that Emma has in here, and he's a greedy little gut. So he jumped down to try to grab the bar. Hero. Up.
Good boy.
We'll see how this goes, y'all. But this is our life. So Dr. Danny is a powerful person. And what I love is that she says education activist, or as our mentors would say, scholar activists. So Dr. Rita talked about that, and her mentor, Miss Di, talked about that, Miss Diane. So these are powerful things that she's talking about. And what I love is that she started out in education, so teaching children just like you, and now she's at the higher education level, but she has such a passion for talking to children about these social change things. And what I thought would be awesome is we're going to just tackle some of the questions in her first week of her journal. It's a 90-day reflection. So she delves into daily prompts that help you understand and question systems of oppression. She has weekly action steps so you can take additional steps towards advocacy, starting with your own experiences, which I think is really important. So a lot of this work, if you don't start with yourself and interrogating or like doing the work on yourself, how are you going to be good for anyone else? You got to do your own work. Do your own work. So she talks about inspiring quotes and insights, which I love. I love me a good quote. And then she also, what I love about this journal is that she has QR codes for interactive learning. So you can click on these QR codes and it'll take you to a video on her website, which she kind of, well, that I think is a QR code. I'm not sure what that's for. I think that's to buy or purchase the book. So we'll definitely put this in the show notes as well. And then the other thing she talks about is focus on resilience. So discover ways to prevent burnout and stay motivated for long-term change. You know what burnout is?
Tired?
It's like extreme tiredness, right? So if you experience burnout as a kid, I'm not saying it can't happen, because I would think if it's happening for a child, it would be because of a lot of trauma or them taking on adult responsibilities. But burnout happens a lot in adulthood because we're overworked, we're doing the most, and we need to find ways to just be fully human, and we're not machines. But a lot of this world makes us work like machines instead of just being, remember you said like we're too busy being adults, so we don't have time to just be like kids and enjoy the things that we used to enjoy. So what we're going to do is, well, you know what I actually want you to say is, it's funny because I think Dr. Danny has beautiful penmanship. Emma's making a face. She has beautiful cursive. I can't even read my own handwriting, but it's funny because y'all kids today don't know how to write in cursive. You do, though. You taught yourself, but it's not taught. It was intentionally taught in school. But can you read what she wrote to you, even though it's in cursive?
This looks like a J.
It's a beautiful T. It's two. It's fancy.
To Miss Emma, you.
That's an I. It's a beautiful I.
I am though.
I'm so
proud of you and how you are using your voice to empower them,
others.
Oh. Janos?
Did you say Thanos? It says this. That's a T, but it kind of, I can see where you think. This
is your you are 10 years invitation to level against rebel against all puts and
SYS systems.
Oh, systems. Treat
that
are you why
it's UN unjust.
Congratulations. Continue being great. Love, Dr. Davy.
Oh my gosh. So y'all, what are you, Alpha Gen? I'm an elder millennial.
I'm
you
Gen
are
Alpha.
Okay, I got it mixed up, but I still got it right. I just put it in the wrong order. Gen Alpha and millennials don't mesh on handwriting and penmanship.
Especially Graham's.
Oh yeah, Graham's handwriting. Well, she's baby boomer. I'm not sure what that is, but she's 1945. But yeah, so I'm definitely putting that on the screen so y'all, when you followed along with that, if you were watching, Emma really struggled with that, but not bad. So I purchased 2 books from Dr. Danny. So one for you and one for Maya. And what she wrote to Maya is, to Miss Maya, You're an outstanding artist. I love your work. This is your invitation to use your voice
I'm
to
an artist.
rebel against all unjust systems. With love, Dr. Danny. We know you're an artist too, but she was talking about Maya. She wasn't talking about you. This is Maya's book. When I read that, when you tried to read what she wrote, using your voice to empower others, I could have been like, I use my voice to empower others.
Okay.
But it wasn't my time. She was talking about you. Okay? My goodness. With that, let me just look at the first part of her book. So it's funny because Daddy was looking at her book today. And, you know,
He was like,
for those of y'all who don't know,
This is nice.
my husband, Devin, is a graphic designer, so he does user experience.
Like, this is nice.
Yeah, he was like, ask her who published this book.
And I was like, okay.
But that's high praise coming from him, who's a designer and can be very meticulous. So he loves the design of her book. We also agree it's great. Going to get some merch soon. But she also writes a note on the inside to change makers and dreamers. And she says, this journal is dedicated to the rebels, the change makers, the dreamers, and all those who refuse to stay silent. It is for the individuals who challenge the status quo, who believe in the transformative power of words and actions, and who see the world not as it is, but as it could be and should be. I added that. To the students willing to question, reflect, and take action, and to the next generation of advocates brave enough to demand equity and justice in all spaces, this is for you. Very clear about who the book's for. About people who are going to be questioning and reflecting and taking action. Because sometimes we think the work is, let me sit and think about that and ponder. We got to move to action. People are hurting, people are starving, people are dying. We got to move. So then at the end, she says, may this journal guide you on your path to liberation, serve as a companion to your journey, and inspire you to lift your voice, amplify others, and build a world where liberation is not just a dream, but a reality for all. That'll preach. Is that clock it? The silent clock it is just with the pointer finger and thumb. Clock it. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to look at week 1. And week 1 is, what is the title of week 1?
What does liberation mean to you?
Come on with the liberation. That is my favorite word. And she has a quote here by Angela Davis. I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. We ain't just going to sit on the sidelines. So in week 1, she talks about exploring what liberation means, both personally and collectively. And that's really important because in my dissertation, I talked about the individual or the personal informing the collective. So who we are and the work that we choose to do individually to be more whole is what's going to help community, right? So if I'm walking around being a pretend version or the version I think society wants, then we're going to keep churning out people that are robots.
No.
And remember that episode, which I think might be the highest viewed and the most popular episode, is we don't want any robots. When you said that line, clock it. Is that right? We don't need robots. But in a lot of ways, this world wants us to be robots and wants us to be machines and not think for ourselves. But one of the things, Dr. Danny, we're not machines. We have intellect, we have critical thinking, and what Dr. Danny is inviting us to do is to think critically, not just for ourselves and what we can do to be better people for ourselves, but for a community to make the world a better place. So she also says it's about more than gaining equality, it's about achieving equity. So what that means is ensuring everyone has the freedom, resources, and opportunity needed to thrive. So oftentimes we think about equity, particularly from people from the margins. We talk about, there's a book by Dr. Bettina Love. She talks about we want to do more than survive. We want to thrive. So we don't just want to just have this hard life and just get through the day to day. I got grit, right? I want to thrive. I want to have a life of ease. I want to be well mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually.
You don't want to be angry all the time.
Or scared or belittled or degraded because of what I look like or the beliefs I have or any of those, or the zip code that I live in, right? You want to make sure that you can thrive. So with that, let's look at the first reflection prompt. Do you want to read that? Yeah.
What does liberation mean to your personality?
Yeah, so let's look back up again. So what does liberation mean to you? Take a moment to reflect on the concept of liberation in your own life and community. Think about how it applies to both individual and collective experiences. Use the questions below to guide your reflection. So what you said was, what does liberation mean to you personally? So she gives you something to help to get your juices flowing here. Consider a time when you felt free or empowered. What factor contributes to this feeling of liberation?
When I felt free or empowered.
Time you felt free or empowered. Do you know what empowered means? So think about a time.
When I'm drawing.
When you're drawing. So what factors contributed to this feeling of liberation?
That it makes me feel happy, and I love doing it, and I'm not upset, and I'm not grumpy.
Oh, and I think sometimes we've talked about before, coping, you use drawing. Sometimes when you're upset, you will go and draw. So that is like one of your strategies that you use to kind of cope and deal with things that are bothering you. Do you ever draw out your feelings?
Yeah.
So that helps you a lot too. I think that's really, really positive. So I don't ever want you to lose that creativity. You know, Maya has that creativity. Daddy has it. Daddy says I'm creative, but I don't draw anymore. But I used to. Yes, creative in different ways now. But I think that is a really good tool. So when you think of liberation, what you're saying is you're not feeling what we would consider maybe negative emotions. You're not feeling grumpy, or what other words did you use?
Mad
or upset. So when you're liberated, you're not feeling those things. Okay, fair enough. I think that's good. So for me, what does liberation mean to me personally, and thinking about a time, I often think about, I could go with big scale, like thinking about when I'm on stage and keynoting and thinking about that's liberation. It's really when I'm sitting down with someone one-on-one, kind of like you. I do this with adults too. So I sit down and we talk one-on-one out, but it's more them, centering them, and I'm just asking them questions, and I'm just kind of making meaning from that. I absolutely love that. I would say on a small scale, it's those moments, those thoughts that I had negative about myself that I'm just like, I don't think about that. So it could be like my weight or something of that effect that I'm just like, not a big deal. So those things that used to bother me that I'm now like, not a big deal anymore, I think that's where liberation shows up for me personally. That makes sense? Yeah. So another question she asked, we're actually going to go, I think what I'd like to do is, when she asked a question about what does liberation mean to you, can you define that for yourself? Like, what does it mean to you personally, if you were to give a definition about what liberation means, or what it looks like?
Liberation is like when you're happy and you're in the best mood, and you're having fun.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so you said for you, it wouldn't be negative emotions.
Yeah.
It would be feeling happy. Okay, so you make me think of my values. So you know how we talked about values in season 1, and some of my most important values are authenticity, connection, curiosity, leadership, and guess what the final one is?
Fairness.
No, that's yours.
Oh, yeah.
Liberation. So on my website, y'all, I not only list my values, I define them. So I'm going to read what liberation, how I define it on my website and the work for our business. So what I say is liberation. We make wholeness a practice and freedom a framework. We work to dismantle the internal and external systems that ask people to shrink, perform, or disappear. In their place, we build cultures where everyone can come alive, be seen, and thrive. So wholeness, we kind of mentioned that last episode or maybe episode before. And when you think about wholeness, what do you think of? Like the goal is to be whole. I want to be whole.
Your authentic self.
Yeah. And authentic self means that I'm fully, some people use a phrase called alignment. I'm actually shifting away from authenticity because there's a lot of people talking about everyone wants to be your authentic self. And I remember doing leadership training, and one of the leaders said, it's hard. I can't be my authentic self because I'm a Black man in these spaces. And I had to really sit with that and honor that because, yes, not every space that we're in is safe enough to be ourselves. And my friend Ellen, she'll say when she's in a space, if she can't be herself, that place doesn't deserve her. So she's like, I'm out. That's good, right? If you have to come in there and pretend and walk on eggshells or pretend to be someone you're not, that's exhausting. So wholeness is this practice of freedom. And the coming alive part makes me think of Howard Thurman. So our pastor will quote him a lot because he was Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s theological mentor, godfather. And he is quoted often and says, don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. So what do you think about that?
That's deep.
What's deep about it?
Wait, what did you say again?
So don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Oh, that's kind of like one of your lines, just do it.
Just do it.
Because what the world needs is people who have come alive.
What I think that means is like coming alive. It means like be yourself, be amazing, be you.
Yeah. And coming alive is finding that thing. Sometimes I think about it.
That makes you happy.
That makes you happy, but also maybe that agitates you, that you're not okay with. That if you're seeing in the world, like, that's unfair. Like how you talk about you don't like to see unhoused people. You don't like to see people starving. So when you see that, there's something in you that means that it's making you come alive. It's agitating you enough to move you towards action. So what are you going to do about that? Right? So when he's saying like what the world needs, so we can sit and be like, oh, what is it that I am feeling? And then go do that thing to make the world a better place. I love that. And it also, to me, ties in with this idea of self-leadership. So a lot of the work that we talk about and a lot of work that I do in the field is really talking about how do we become better humans? And some of those things is curiosity. So we're super curious people. We ask good questions. Dr. Danny talks about that. Compassion and clarity. So let's go on to another question that she has here. And I like this one where she says, how do you see liberation happening in your school or community? Are there any barriers that prevent people from achieving true freedom? How do different groups experience liberation differently? Do you see any barriers in school or in our community? And if you can't think of it locally, what about maybe in the world?
In the world, people are being racist and being rude and not nice.
And who are they being rude and not nice to?
Black people and like Mexican people or indigenous people.
So where do you see that? Or how do you know that?
You.
Me? Do you hear me talking about it? So what are some of the things that you hear? Or maybe because you feel things very deeply, do you sometimes feel what I'm feeling? Like you're like, oh, what do you feel?
Upsetness.
Yeah. Frustration, sadness. I feel like there's a range of emotions.
Yeah.
And for parents and caregivers out there, you know, when we have these crises in our society, there's things that my National Association of School Psychologists will put out. So I'm part of that association. They will put out things, how to talk to children about this. So when we had the first presidential election of
tissue.
Emma was good all day. And now she's sneezing a lot. So y'all, we're trying to get through this podcast, but Emma...
Allergy season.
I don't think it's allergies. I think you have a cold.
Yeah. Achoo.
And in this house, this is pre-COVID, y'all. I was quarantining you. If you are sniffling, sneezing, snotting, you're in your room. And I'm like sliding the food under your door like a warden. So the fact that I'm in close proximity has me a little concerned.
He loves me.
So even though we were interrupted by your sneeze,
My fault.
I'm thinking, I was asking you about the felt sense that you have of frustration.
Yeah,
And
I don't like that feeling.
it's not a great feeling. So then to you, that's the opposite of walking your liberation. So feeling liberated, you don't like that feeling. There's this angst and this uneasiness that you feel. And for parents, I think it's really important that we have these conversations with our kids, because I believe that children especially are more attuned to their emotions than adults. As we become older, we numb ourselves to it. But you particularly are very attuned to your emotions. So if you have children, or just anyone in your house that is more sensitive to that, you got to talk about it. Because if you're not talking about it, you're feeling it, right? So what you're saying is you're feeling that and you don't like how that feels. And if you feel like you can't talk to me about that, what do you do with those feelings?
Keep them. But
And what happens when you keep them inside?
It's bad because you don't feel good about it.
Yeah. And I remember before we were talking about emotions, and you said when you keep them inside, do you remember what you said when you keep them inside?
It eats you up.
It eats you up. And what happens is when you become an adult, I mean, even when you're young, you can experience a lot of anxiety. So you might do things like biting your nails. I also think that's a gene, because that seems to be a trait on one side of the family. People sometimes pick at things. Their skin. They might get a nervous tick. They might have ruminating thoughts or negative thoughts that they think something bad is going to happen. So if you don't have a space where you can be like, I'm really worried about this, or what is happening, or why are you agitated, or if you're watching the news a lot or you overhear the news, then Graham, when you're at Graham's house, that's probably all she watches, her and Pop. Well, Pop in particular.
Yeah.
So you might, if you're going to a relative's house and they're more engrossed in that, and you're a kid, and maybe that's not something we do in our house, and then you go over there and you're wondering, what in the world? The world's on fire, and now I'm scared. I remember during COVID, Maya was really upset about the world, thinking about the earth dying and the pollution, and she would be crying in her room about that. And I don't know if it was something that she was reading. They were talking about it in school, but she really, really focused on that and thinking about how we're destroying the planet. And it made her really upset.
Yeah,
so,
that makes me upset.
Yeah. So what I think is happening particularly right now, and the purpose of all of this chaos, is to make us sit in our despair and our grief and be upset and not do anything. So what Dr. Danny is calling us to do is say, okay, let's talk about the inequities, but what are we actually going to do? First, we have to see where they exist. And then, okay, so what can I do in my community to change that? So you are saying you don't see anything maybe in your community or in your school?
In like certain cities, I see like homeless people.
Yeah, you see unhoused people on the street. Yeah, in the city.
Or people smoking.
You don't like that. Yeah, we don't like that. And I think what's coming up for me too is that we have a lot of privilege. So the fact that you don't see that in close proximity to you where we live is a privilege that not a lot of people have. Yeah. Some people really see it every day, the injustice every day, and that could lead to a lot of frustration. Yeah. But where I see it in our community? How many Black families live in this community?
2.
And then we can count the lady down the street. Yeah. In our community of, I'm going to say maybe 50 plus homes. I'm not sure how many. And then in your school alone, it's less than 2% Black.
There's only 2 fully Black people.
Wait. Fully Black compared to what? What's the other Black? Mixed. Okay. So fully Black and then mixed kids. Yes. And
there's a bunch of mixed.
There are kids that will identify and say that they are mixed, yes, and not Black or not white. They don't want to pick a side because they have a white parent and a Black parent. So I think if you think about inequities in that way, even though you're not experiencing direct harm, this community, in a sense, is a product of that inequity because of the lines that we've drawn to keep certain people that look like us out, right? Uh-oh, she's getting her tissue back out. So something she says kind of along that line is, how do different groups experience liberation differently? So when you talk about racism or being unhoused, or maybe we talked about the other day, food insecurity, how would you compare yourself to someone that is unhoused? How are our experiences different?
I have a house, I have food, I have clothes, I have a bunch of stuff, and they don't.
Yeah, so how do you think they experience every day? What do you think they feel?
Hard and scared and like upset maybe.
And think about how cold it is right now. When you went outside this morning, what did you say about the grass?
It was frozen and it was 29 degrees outside this morning.
So what do you think about people that don't have heat, don't have a shelter?
Sometimes I see homeless people just wearing a shirt, like a baggy shirt, and I'm like, what?
And what does that make you feel?
Sad.
Yeah, and I think right now what's happening, so again, think about Howard Thurman, thinking about liberation and thinking about what can you do within your community, what makes you come alive. There's something in you that tugs on your heartstring when you see people that are experiencing homelessness.
Tug, tug.
What do you do? What can we do about it? Remember when
give the
during
money.
Black History Month, we looked up people that were your age or younger, and they were doing things in their community to help unhoused people or having access to clean water. There's no age limit. If you have a passion and desire, you partner with people that can help you get it done. And what is happening right now, because right now in the government shutdown, what happened to you as a result of the government shutdown?
They had to cancel my field trip.
And where were you going?
Washington, D.C.
Do you know why they had to cancel the field trip?
Because because they said that the people who like work there and that like clean the bathrooms and stuff didn't work, so we couldn't.
Because they're not getting paid.
Yeah.
So you have friends in school whose parents are currently federal employees, and they're currently not getting paid. So they're trying to figure out maybe where their next meal is coming from. And that's really scary for a lot of people, because we live, middle class has the illusion, if you don't save your money, all of us can be one paycheck away from being on the street, right? We work to keep a roof over your head, but say something happens, all of that can be gone. So when you think about people that are unhoused, people judge them, right? Do you ever hear what people say about people that are unhoused or on the street? You ever hear anything negative?
I think one time I saw a person spit at them.
That's awful. Like, they think that they're subhuman, right? Often people will say, addiction, like there's no reason for them to be on the street. In America, you wouldn't think that. But right now, with the government shutdown, and in a couple days, they're getting rid of SNAP benefits, which is an additional form.
SNAP.
I don't remember what the acronym is, but it's essentially like giving you additional subsidy or money for food. So it'd be like maybe under $200 for a family to get food. And remember that one time we went to Costco, you were like, all that money, we didn't even get anything. Groceries have skyrocketed, and people's salaries have stayed the same, or they've been laid off because of the economy. So now with the government shutdown, $5 billion they could pull out of the reserves to help people, and they're like, we're not doing it.
$50 or $100 per hour.
That's what we should be getting paid? Come on, Emma for president. She's increasing the minimum wage to a livable wage. You know how much people make an hour in Pennsylvania? I'm pretty sure it's still $7.50 an hour. I think there was a push a couple years ago to make it $11 or $12 an hour, but so people are out here just living paycheck to paycheck. They're just surviving, and what we're talking about is thriving. So they're going to lose their benefits, but you know what is beautiful and what's happening?
People are helping them.
Come on, people. Come on, humanity, come through. But here's the thing. We don't want to wait till you get to a crisis state to be able to help people.
Yes.
But what is beautiful is that it is flooding what I'm seeing online. And something people are talking about is mutual aid. So I've seen this farmer, I don't remember what state he's in. I think he has to be down south, because up here, everything would freeze. Yeah. And he's like, if you need food, come here, I will give you food. So it's not just giving them junk like Twinkies. They're getting fresh produce. People are stopping, and helping, and that is a beautiful thing. Something
Blueberries, grapes.
right, because you know what happens. There's a term called food desert. So when you're in larger cities that are heavily populated with black or brown people, you know what they do? You could go to the Giant on the other side of town in the city, go in that Giant, you will not see the same fresh produce that you see in our Giant. They stock it by making assumptions about what people want to purchase, but you know what also the issue is? Fresh produce costs more. Healthy food costs more.
Of course it does.
Does that make sense though?
No.
So then people don't have access to fresh food. So they have to get the cheaper stuff. And also, if they don't have transportation, they have to go to what's local. Walk or go to what's local. So they're going to like Dollar Trees or something, things like that don't necessarily have they don't have fresh produce. So they're just getting what they can. So these are things that we have to think about when people are judging and thinking about, oh, you don't have a job, you need to go get a job. A lot of people that currently need these benefits are working. The majority of them are working, but they don't make a livable wage. So what can we do? One of the things our church is doing, help them, is November 8th, we're having an 18-wheeler truck. A big Mack truck is going to pull up, and we're going to unload it with food, clothes, appliances, baby supplies, all these things to help the community. Because what our pastor is trying to do is say that we need to be a church for the people, right?
I'll be baptized on Sunday.
Oh, wait. Let's pause because Emma has something that she wanted to share because she wanted to interject something very important.
I'll get baptized on Sunday.
With her stuffy nose.
Yeah.
You're getting baptized. What are you thinking about this?
I'm really happy because all my family members are gonna get to see it.
I mean, everyone, because you go up behind the pulpit. It's like on the big, it's not on the screen, but everyone will get to see you go be fully immersed in the water. Do you understand? So tell the people who might not know what baptism is. I mean, you might have someone that's in another country or not familiar with baptism in a Baptist church. What does it mean? What is it? What actually happens?
Baptism is like symbolizing shedding a new skin and like giving your life to Christ.
Yeah, what did they actually do?
They dunk you.
Not like that.
He goes like this. The list, yep.
And then when you come up, that represents
a new
life in Christ. Yeah, you're born new. And so you know how we're watching Chosen, and we started with season 1, and how now I'm forgetting the king's name. He went to the prison to see John the Baptist. Starts with an N. Nehemiah? No, it's not Nehemiah.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get it. But he went to the prison and saw John the Baptist. So I'm wondering if they're going to go back and talk about or show John the Baptist.
It wasn't a king. His name was
He is a king.
No, he was like a teacher.
But I think he's okay. So maybe he's a teacher.
He's a teacher.
It's blocking me right now. I don't know what. Nicodemus. Lord. So when he went to see John the Baptist, I wonder if they're going to go back and show when John the Baptist baptized Jesus. Yeah. So that would be really cool for you to see potentially before Sunday. But at any rate, so we digress, but it's super important to talk about that.
Yes.
And that we go to a church that is committing to the missionary part of it and being a service to others, so that we will be able to support our community and help our community. And that's something that's been in the works. And I see so many churches, so many other organizations, so many nonprofits, just people on the street. I saw on social media today, this lady was saying, here's the things that you need to buy in bulk to help other people. Some of that is rice, boxed milk, which you can apparently get at like the dollar stores, Dollar Trees, all the dollars, boxed milk, because when people donate, they usually donate cereal. Guess what you need with cereal?
Well, you don't need to have
You don't need milk, but it's helpful. Other things that people are saying to donate, oil. You wouldn't think about that. Cooking oil.
Ooh.
A big thing is flour. So flour, rice, those types of things.
Eat eggs.
Eggs are like caviar. So things like that, like you're definitely not going to get these eggs. So thinking about fresh produce, again, like how do we get them fresh fruits and vegetables, even though they go bad? You know, sometimes you go in the Giant and you'll see fresh fruit there that is free for kids. That's a key too. Think about that. So we live in a society.
Yeah, one time we went to Giant and it was like free apples and bananas, and I was like, oh, wait, no, it was free clementines and bananas.
But did you see the note? What did it say?
Take one.
Did it just say for kids only?
Yeah,
Why do you think it just said for kids? Why can't I have it?
because
Why do you think?
kids need more nutrition.
Kids need more nutrition. As adults, like our responsibility is to make sure that our kids have what they need.
And are healthy.
Are healthy. Oh my gosh, because healthy kids make a healthy society, because you're going to grow up to be the adults. So the Maasai people, they talk about this in their culture and they say, how are the children? If we're not talking about how the children are, then we're not worried about society. And guess what's happening? Why people are so frustrated about SNAP? The majority of recipients of SNAP benefits are what? Who are they? They're children. So we have a government that's like, we're going to build a $300 million ballroom. We're going to demolish the White House and build a ballroom. But it's okay. We're not taking taxpayer dollars for that. It's my buddies that are donating the money. And remember what you said when you heard that? If you have donors that are donating millions of dollars to a ballroom, where could that money be going?
It could be doing anything else. Literally anything else.
Literally anything else.
Bro, with all the money they have, why can't they just solve world hunger or homelessness, houselessness?
And they could, right?
They
but
could,
instead,
but they chose not to because they're selfish.
ooh, selfish, right? So in order to be selfish and to look at a child that looks like you and say, not my problem. Like, what would you have to think or do in your head to not look at a child and see their humanity?
Look at a baby.
Right. So
If that was a baby or like a toddler, I'd be like, here's all my food. Here's
Yeah.
all my clothes. I don't care.
and these are things that a lot of people that have the compassion that you have and are saying, how is it that you're spending money on that and not what we need to do to help and support families?
Why a ballroom?
Why people are upset and grieved. And this is why we need to rebel and come up with ways to move towards liberation. So something that Dr. Danny talks about is identify community barriers. So you've talked a lot about unhoused and people that have food insecurities. And, you know, I'm talking about having a lack of access to fresh fruits and vegetables. So she's saying, look beyond yourself. Look beyond yourself. And what did you just say earlier? People are selfish.
Yes.
Build a $300 million ballroom. So look beyond yourself. That takes a lot of work, apparently. Look beyond yourself and identify one barrier in your school or community that affects people's ability to feel liberated. For example, unfair school policies, unequal access to resources. Write down how this
code.
dress code. How's the dress code unfair?
You can't wear bikini straps.
Spaghetti straps.
Yeah, spaghetti straps.
And how is it unfair?
Because why are we not allowed to wear it? It's our body.
Oh, come on now, little feminist. Well, we talk a lot about that, like policing, girls having to police their own bodies because of the male gaze. So because they're saying, well, boys, I don't even know the logic behind it for elementary school, honestly. Besides, in high school and middle school, it's usually you have the boys gawking at you. I remember working in the high school and the male principals would come up to me, especially in the beginning of the school year. That's all they would talk about is dress code. Can you go up and say something to that girl? And they would be in the hallway staring down the girls because they had inappropriate clothes on, spaghetti straps. It has to be 3-finger straps and all these things.
Yes. Like, why does it have to be that thick?
And that's a lot of energy, right? So I get your point. There's a lot of energy spent on things about spaghetti straps. I can get, like, I don't want to see your butt crack hanging out. That ain't it to me.
That's too much.
That's
but
too
like,
much. But what's up with the spaghetti straps? So we got to do some more digging into that. But at the high school and middle school level, I remember a former superintendent, the students, when I was doing some workshops with them, they got really upset about the dress code. And they were putting on a performance for the school, talking about their experiences, and one of them was dress code. And she said, I like all of your monologues and short acts except for the dress code one that needs to be taken out. And I just looked at them because they made a face, and I said, say what you have to say. And they said, why? You know, they inquired why, and they gave really good rationale, and she actually changed the dress code policy because of that. So, you know, this is the things when she talks about moving towards liberation, when you think about how it makes you feel versus a boy, or how you feel like you're being gawked at because of something you wear, these are things that you can talk about. Or unfair school policy. You said unfair school policies, unequal access to resources, so unequal access to food, quality education, something in Pennsylvania that is huge. We are one of the worst, if not the worst, in the nation for kids that live in a certain area get to go to better schools. Daddy and I purposely chose to bring you to this neighborhood so that you could have access to a quote unquote good school. But guess what we had to sacrifice?
What?
Diversity, you being around people that look like you. So you're in school and you're one of the only ones. And what I don't want you to experience is feeling what we call hypervisibility.
What's that?
That you feel like your identities are amplified. So you being black, you being a girl is amplified because you're one of the few. So I know what happened to me in school. I remember in high school, I was in sociology class and they were talking about a unit on black history or something. And the sociology teacher said, Amber knows all about this. He made an assumption just because I was black that I knew about it. So things like that can happen that can be really frustrating.
Assumption.
And then you know what can happen. Then it makes you feel like you're not black enough because you didn't know the answer. So things like that can happen. So how do we help you to know that your blackness and your skin color and your hair and all those things are amazing and your culture is amazing? What we do, we go to a black church that celebrates us, right? But you know what also is interesting about church?
Yeah.
Sundays is the most segregated day, they say, of the week, because we go to our respective churches, and there's a lot of churches that are segregated, not intentionally, but historically, we had to form black churches, we had to form black institutions, black colleges, because we weren't allowed to worship or be educated with our white counterparts. So we had to form our own. So that was a way that people said, we're going to work on our liberation. We're going to here's a barrier. And what we're going to do is we're going to create another pathway so we don't have to have this barrier. So for you, you have that coursing through your veins, those type of ancestors that imagine the world, as Dr. Danny said, not as it is, but as it should be and could be. That takes imagination and creativity that you have. So when we tap into you and say, what does Emma think about how the world should be? We get closer to imagining a better world and a more liberated world.
Who would listen to a kid?
What?
But who would listen to a kid?
A lot of people listen to you.
Yeah, but like not some people, like our president.
He don't listen to anyone, but I don't even know who he listens to God, but
Him.
Lord.
He listens to him.
He listens to who?
Himself.
I was about to say I don't know what God he listening to.
I don't think that's God.
Definitely not.
Nah.
But I watched the video the other day and someone was talking about, well, you know, he's not really a big Christian. He's not really into that, but it's divine providence. So some people believe that they're using our current president, God's using him to pour forth what God sees for this world. And that doesn't...
That doesn't make sense.
No, because God will use a donkey. So then are you saying that our current president is like a donkey? He's just being used. He's a pawn. And he's not a pawn for God. It sounds like he's a pawn for the people that want to push forth their agenda to create a world that excludes people that look like us.
Yeah.
So for you, how do we get away from the icky feelings that we feel and work towards joy? Because we're talking about joy this season.
Is this our chicken nugget wisdom?
Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking. Like, with all that we said and all that we talked about and how hard that can be and how demoralizing and like maybe anxiety ridden could feel, like, what do you still hold on to? And what are you giving people a challenge and some wisdom for today to take with them for the week?
I don't think I can get a challenge because of my nose.
Your nose is stuffy. Do you have a chicken nugget wisdom you want to share?
My chicken nugget wisdom is that you should find something you like and do it.
So something that makes you come alive. So we're thinking about
Yes.
Howard Thurman
That
and the definition of
liberates.
liberation. So find something that makes you come alive. So again, when we said come alive, it could be it makes you happy, but it could also be that agitates you, that you want to see change and make better the world. And then, you know what also would be good? Find other people that share that same passion, E.T., and that's how you do it. So all these people that are doing the mutual aid and saying, I have food for you, they're partnering with other people.
Cactus.
You feel less alone in that, and you know who's going to save us? We are, the communities that we build.
You can give people seasonings.
Come on, they talked about salt is something that they need too. We want some seasoning for this food.
Because no one wants some dusty, unseasoned eggs.
I mean, thank you for the food, but also, I still deserve to have some flavor on my food. So that's what we think. I saw a video today, and this lady was like, if you can't afford food, then all you should get, we're going to give you, because she showed a video of a black woman getting groceries and showing everything that she put in a cart for under $400 with her subsidized government assistance. And the lady was making a video, the white woman was making a video being like, oh my gosh, she's so horrible. You know what we need to do for people like that? We need to give them boxed food, and these are they're getting the bare minimum. And that's how some people think. If you have not gotten to this point in society where you are making X amount of dollars, you should be thankful that you're getting anything. And I think what we're saying is, who makes you better than anyone else? We're all human beings.
Yeah.
But we live in a world that your dollars behind your name, your title behind your name, therefore means that you should be respected. And if you don't have those titles, if you don't have the education, if you don't have the nice house, then I don't have to then I can disrespect
and you
you.
were talking about me having a yap session.
You got me fired up. You got me going. So I'm saying we're done because you're stuffy.
Yes, I need to blow my nose.
So Emma, we're gonna the chicken nugget is find what makes you come alive, find someone else, and do it because we
Just
need to help.
do it.
We need to help our neighbors.
We should make a shirt of saying just do that. Just do it.
That's
Or-
Nike.
It can have a chicken nugget on it.
We'll have
And-
to work on that.
Yeah, we can have a shirt that says chicken nugget wisdom on it.
I like that. We should design that. Get Daddy and you to design
Or
a
if our
shirt.
heads were both chicken nuggets.
Our heads are chicken nuggets. I
We-
think Daddy could do something fun
We
with that.
are the chicken nugget wisdoms.
And on that note, y'all, Emma is tired and it's her bedtime.
Yeah.
So I hope you feel better in the morning because you're stuffy right now. Don't close this out with blowing your nose. All right, y'all. Have a good night. So in the words of Dr. Danny, your understanding of liberation is key to moving forward as an advocate for equity and justice. So find what makes you come alive, find another person to do that with, and do that thing because what that's going to do, your liberation unlocks liberation for someone else.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm so glad you joined me and Mommy for this episode of Living in 3D Power. I hope you like it. Now do me a favor before you leave. Subscribe to our Substack and make sure you subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts too. And hey, do me another favor. Share this episode with a friend or family member. If something we said made you laugh, made you smile, or it might mean something to them, just send it away. Okay, one more favor. That's a lot of favors, I know. Head over to the comments on our social media. Tell us what made you say, that's deep, bro. because your words encourage other people and they encourage us to. See you next time.